the difference between Rickettsia chlamydia and mycoplasma. What is the main difference? Rickettsia chlamydia. Because mycoplasma is a free living organism. So it can grow in cell-free media. So can grow in cell-free media. But they cannot grow in cell-free media. Obligatory intracellular parasite. And cannot grow in cell-free media. So when you write the diagnosis of Rickettsia chlamydia and mycoplasma, remember this in mind. The mycoplasma can grow in cell-free media, that is artificial media, but Rickettsia chlamydia cannot grow in artificial media. They are obligatory intracellular parasite like virus. So they cannot grow. And mycoplasma, another MCQ, it is called smallest gene size among the bacteria. Mycoplasma's gene size is around 1/6 of that of E. coli. Escherichia coli's gene size, number of genes and number of genes in mycoplasma is about 1/6. Look, let's start with chlamydia. Chlamydia, what is your idea? It is the most, so this could be a history. Chlamydia is now the most common organism for sexually transmitted infection, STI. So this could be a question. 27-year-old woman developed mucopurulent discharge followed by development of dysuria. Microscopy of urethral swab revealed sterile pyuria and presence of complex inclusion bodies which are later stained by Lugol's iodine. So there are other stains. So chlamydia trachomatis is the most common cause of sexually transmitted infection. What other infection? This is a term, chlamydia and chlamydophila. Chlamydophila is the new term. Still trachomatis is included in the chlamydia trachomatis, and chlamydophila psittaci and chlamydophila pneumoniae. These are the other two. Obligate intracellular coccoid parasites contain DNA and RNA. They lack ATP and biosynthetic pathway. Cell wall peptidoglycan absent, use disulfide bond non-motile. So, in the history, the chlamydia name came from the chlamys. This chlamys is the word, Greek word from where? Can anybody tell what is the chlamys? Chlamys is a cloak. Like a hooded coat, that was chlamys, because chlamydia was thought to be a coat-like organism around the nucleus of the cell. That's why the chlamydia name came, the cloak-like structure, which was later proved that is not a cloak-like structure, that was elementary body and reticulate body was term misnomer like that, but the term chlamydia came from the chlamys. Chlamys means a cloak, short cloak in the Greek word. Now, things to remember, it does not contain peptidoglycan in the cell wall. It cannot produce ATP of their own, so they are also non-motile. not transmitted by arthropods, incorrectly called viruses or Betsonia, multiply in the cytoplasm of the host cell. We will come to the multiplication later. The method used to study chlamydia are those of virologists rather than bacteriologists. Now, what are the differences of chlamydia with virus? Because difference questions have come in your. What are the difference? They possess both DNA and RNA. They possess inner and outer membranes. They possess prokaryotic ribosome. They synthesize their own proteins, nucleic acid, but they cannot synthesize their ATP. They multiply by binary fission. They do not have an eclipse phase following cellular infection. They are susceptible to numerous antibacterial antibiotics. They are also called, this is explain why, can come as explain why chlamydia is called an energy parasite. Because they cannot synthesize ATP. Their cells can synthesize DNA, RNA, but no flavoprotein or cytochromes in the cytoplasm of the chlamydia. So lack of ATP generating ability, need to obtain ATP from the host cell. That is one of the cause of obligatory intercellular parasites. They cannot survive outside a cell. So they are also called energy parasites. 3 species, important clinical importance in human: Chlamydia trachomatis, Chlamydophila psittaci and Chlamydophila pneumoniae. These are others. They are transmitted to man. About 100 species of birds are naturally infected with chlamydia. Chlamydia psittaci may come from the bird. So, Chlamydia trachomatis, what are the diseases caused by Chlamydia trachomatis? Trachoma, conjunctivitis, proctitis, urethritis, salpingitis and lymphogranuloma variolium. These are the diseases caused by Chlamydia trachomatis. So, difference between these 3 important species: Chlamydia trachomatis, mainly host is human. Chlamydophila psittaci, the main host is birds, and Chlamydophila pneumoniae, main host is human. Elementary body round. Chlamydophila psittaci, elementary body is also round but pear-shaped in case of pneumonia. Inclusion morphology: round, vacuolar, variable depth. And another point to remember, that is glycogen content. Chlamydia trachomatis inclusion body contain glycogen, but Chlamydophila psittaci and Chlamydophila pneumoniae do not contain glycogen in their inclusion body. So if you stain with Lugol's iodine, it will not be blue. Glycogen stains blue with Lugol's iodine, but without glycogen, those inclusion body to be stained with other stain, like Gimsha or hematoxylin eosin stain. But Lugol's iodine, with absence of glycogen, if you stain with Lugol's iodine, it will not be blue. Plasmid DNA present susceptibility to sulfonamides. Chlamydia trachomatis is susceptible to sulfonamides, but Chlamydia psittaci and Chlamydophila pneumoniae are not susceptible. Major disease: trachoma, ocular conjunctivitis and lymphogranuloma variolium. Now, chlamydia morphology. There are 2 morphologies. One is infective form and one is replicating form. So, the replicating form is metabolically active. So, when the question comes in MCQ, which is the metabolically active, that is the reticulate body is metabolically active, but elementary body, the infective form, is not metabolically active. This question has come previously, which one is metabolically active. The elementary body is not metabolically active, but reticulate body is metabolically active. Elementary body 200 to 300 nanometer, a rigid trilaminar cell wall. It is called the extracellular infective form, responsible for attaching to the target host cell. Reticulate body 500 to 1000 nanometer, larger than elementary body, osmotically fragile, but metabolically active. So the difference between reticulate elementary body and the reticulate body is that reticulate body is metabolically active, and that is in our cell. Elementary body transforms into reticulate body and multiplication occurs within reticulate body, and elementary body is the infective form that infects. So infective form is elementary body but metabolically not active, and reticulate body is the multiplication form in our body and that is metabolically active. So this is the cycle. Elementary body attaches to specific host cell receptor. Its host cell nucleus is there. Elementary body enters the cell by endocytosis. Then elementary body reorganizes into large reticulate body, and this reticulate body then divide by binary fissions within the host cell, and phagosome enlarges into a structure called inclusion. This looks like a coat around nucleus. That's why the cloak, the chlamydia name came. Initially it was thought that reticulate body grows around the nucleus like a cloak. So same development cycle. These is elementary bodies, glycogen inclusions. This is inside cell, so this is basically reticulate body that causing inclusion of glycogen. And this table you have to remember. The question comes, what are the serotype of Chlamydia trachomatis and which serotype causes what disease? So the serotype ABC or ABC causes trachoma. Chlamydia trachomatis ABC causes trachoma. D2K causes genital chlamydia, inclusion conjunctivitis, infant pneumonia. Can you tell inclusion conjunctivitis occurs in which patient? It's basically the newborn. Mother infected with chlamydia, the newborn can have disease like inclusion conjunctivitis or the infant pneumonia. And lymphogranuloma viridium, L1, L2, L3. So chlamydia trachomatis, their serotypes are A, B, BA, C for trachoma, for D2K for sexually transmitted infections, and L1, L2, L3 causes lymphogranuloma viridium. Chlamydophila psittaci, many serotypes. The psittacosis, another atypical pneumonia. Transmission route is inhalation from the pet birds and poultry, so no man-to-man transmission. They are resistant to sulfonamide, natural pathogen of birds. So a person working in a poultry industry comes to you with pneumonia, you may think of the Chlamydophila psittaci may be organism for the atypical pneumonia. So occupational history is important also. So Chlamydia psittaci can be a occupational hazard also. Chlamydophila pneumoniae is an exclusive human pathogen, only one serotype, community acquired atypical pneumonia. The term which was first coined, primary atypical pneumonia, is for this, primary atypical pneumonia. Facultative intercellular parasite, already obligate intercellular parasite, already they have restricted virulence, only compact inclusion. They folate synthesize, so sulfonamide susceptible in case of chlamydia, glycogen synthesized and deposited in the inclusion's body. Now inclusion conjunctivitis, as already told, this is transmitted by infectious secretion of the genitourinary tract, maybe autoinoculation or a newborn to a mother infected with chlamydia. So inclusion conjunctivitis, infantile conjunctivitis acquired in the birth canal, 5 to 12 days after the birth, is the most common type of conjunctivitis. Antibiotic prophylaxis is erythromycin and tetracycline. So this is the chlamydial infection of ocular conjunctivitis, trachoma. Trachoma means infection of conjunctival epithelial cells. It Another feature is trichiasis, abnormal inward growth of eyelashes. Trachoma can lead to acute active infection. Now in India, the trachoma is on the verge of elimination. It is always called the trachoma is eliminated as the acute infection rate has fallen to less than 1% in children aged 1 to 9 years. Late stage manifestation are seen in individual above 15 years of age. So now the epidemiology, the infection rate or acute infection rate is less than 1% in the children between 1 to 9 years. These are the 5 signs of trachoma: trachomatous trichiasis, corneal opacity, trachomatous inflammation of the follicle, trachomatous inflammation intense, and trachomatous scarring. So these are the 5 signs of trachoma. Now this is WHO trachoma grading system. WHO has published a grading system for trachoma. How the trachoma should be graded, it is which stage trachoma is. Because trachoma, why trachoma is so important? What is the most common cause of blindness in India? The most common cause of preventable blindness is cataract. But trachoma is the most common cause of infective cause of blindness. Trachoma is still worldwide the most common infective cause of blindness is trachoma. That's why WHO has come out with these classifications. Similar to classification I have told 5 signs. One is trachomatous inflammation follicular, trachomatous inflammation intense, trachomatous scarring, trichiasis and corneal opacity. So these are the stages of trachoma. So these are the few pictures. Trichiasis, you remember the ingrowth of hair towards cornea. The eyelashes are growing towards cornea. And follicular inflammation, how will you check the follicular inflammation? Where will you check? In which conjunctival part? Yes, upper tarsal conjunctiva is seen for the follicular inflammation in trachoma. What are the predisposing factors? Hot, dry climate, shortage of water, low standard hygiene. It can also be transmitted by flies, dirty towels and fingers. How the trachoma is checked? Already I have mentioned blinding trachoma around the world. Lymphoadenoma venereum, trachoma is covered. Other causes, disease caused by chlamydia, LGV, non-gonococcal urethritis, epididymitis, salpingitis, mucopurulent cervicitis and pelvic inflammatory disease, Ritter syndrome, neonatal chlamydia. So it is most common cause of sexually transmitted infection is chlamydia trachomatis. LGV. So women are more affected than male by gender. Symptoms usually appear 7 to 28 days after the infection. Usually mild burning sensation. Blood may appear in the urine. Non-gonococcal urethritis, Ritter syndrome. Swollen, painful right knee in which needle aspiration of synovial fluid was performed. Yellow discoloration due to betadine preparations. So this is a Ritter syndrome. Along with the non-gonococcal urethritis, there is reactive arthritis and involvement of the knee. LGV. What is the clinical feature? What should you remember about LGV? L1, L2, L3 I have mentioned cerebral. This is syphilis. What type of ulcer usually you, genital ulcer you see? Syphilis is usually painless ulcer. Now what would be the ulcer type in LGV? LGV, just remember 2 words, ulcer is painless. Painless ulcer, but lymph nodes are painful. So how will you, clinically the ulcer is painless but the enlarged lymph nodes are painful in LGV. Transient vesicle or penis or vagina that are often unnoticed, patients usually seek medical advice. Incubation period is 5 to 20 days. Bilateral inguinal lymphadenopathy with overlying erythema, and these inguinal lymphadenopathy are painful. The lymph nodes are painful. This is called group sign. Pompert's ligament is preserved despite the involvement of multiple inguinal nodes. So this is group sign for lymphogranuloma venereum. Lymph node shows both necrosis and granulomatous reaction. Chlamydia pneumoniae. The bacterium was first recognized in 1983 as a respiratory pathogen. Pneumonia or bronchitis, basically atypical pneumonia. It can cause upper respiratory infection also. This is infection, person to person transmission by respiratory secretion. All ages at risk, but most commonly in school-going children. Chlamydia pneumoniae may be associated with heart disease, atherosclerotic vascular disease. So antigen you have to remember because you have to diagnose major outer membrane protein, MOMP. Major outer membrane protein is one of the antigen what will be required in diagnosis. So most common antigen is major outer membrane protein, which is cysteine rich. Now what would be the laboratory diagnosis? Either you can directly stain the sample. What are the sample you should take for laboratory diagnosis of chlamydia? For eye secretions, if you have to take the for trachoma, so characteristic inclusion body you have to look for. That is HP or Halberstadt-Prowazek HP bodies was characteristics of this HP body is characteristics of chlamydia trachomatis. And what is the speciality already mentioned? This inclusion body contains glycogen. So HP body, Halberstadt-Prowazek or HP bodies may be demonstrated in conjunctival scrapings and stained by Giemsa, Castaneda or Machiavella, may be stained with Lugol's iodine also. The fluorescent antibody method enhances the sensitivity of the spear diagnosis. So we can use the fluorescent antibody technique. Here you can have to take the scraping. Even when you are diagnosing gonococcus, you are taking urethral secretion. But when you are diagnosing genital chlamydia trachomatis, you have to take the scraping because the organism is intracellular. If you only take the secretion, there will be less chance for getting the chlamydia. So next, culture. It cannot be cultured in a cell-free media. It can be cultured in an embryonated egg where you will inoculate in the yolk sac of 7-day chick embryo. Yolk sac of 7-day chick embryo, it can be inoculated in McCoy human cell. And after culture, the similar cytoplasmic inclusion bodies will be seen. So sample depends on the lesion, urethral swab or urethral scrape, endocervical swab for cervicitis, conjunctival swab. Yesterday I was asking in the practical, the first part of the urine or the whole urine should be taken. If you are suspecting a non-gonococcal urethritis due to chlamydia, you have to take the first morning sample, first catch morning sample. Otherwise for urine culture, you can take sample at any time of the day, but you are suspecting chlamydia or you are suspecting tuberculosis, you have to take the morning and the first catch sample to be taken. So in the morning contains greatest amount of urethral secretion, hence it is preferred specimen for urethritis or cervicitis. Nasopharyngeal aspirate or respiratory secretion for pneumonia. Bubo aspirate for lymphogranuloma venereum. Direct immunofluorescence antigen detection. What are the antigen that is detected? By LPS antigen, serology complement fixation test is nowadays not used. Microimmunofluorescence test can be used for detecting the major outer membrane protein antigen. This is specific and LPS is non-specific antigen. So those two type of, one is specific antigen, that is major outer membrane protein for chlamydia, and the LPS antigen is non-specific. Culture gold standard method, cell lines of choice McCoy and HeLa for chlamydia trachomatis and HEP2 for chlamydophila pneumoniae. Now what is the test nowadays? What is the most important test nowadays? Is nucleic acid amplification test or PCR. So important test for diagnosing now chlamydia is nucleic acid amplification test. Because those cell culture and immunofluorescence are more of a cumbersome method. So nucleic acid amplification test, the most sensitive and specific method, currently the diagnostic test of choice. These are some picture of inclusion body. This is iodine stain, this is chlamydia inclusion body, and this is reticulate body. Immunofluorescence already I have covered, microimmunofluorescence and direct immunofluorescence. Frey's test, delayed type of skin reaction due to kill organism in genitourinary infection. Family antigen can be detected by complement fixation or fluorescent antibody test. Now what is the treatment? What is the treatment according to WHO guidelines? Which is the drug of choice? Drug of choice is azithromycin. If azithromycin, alternate is doxycycline or tetracycline. So drug of choice is azithromycin for any conjunctival or urethral, cervical, rectal, trachomatic sexually transmitted infection. What is the dose? Azithromycin 1 gram single dose or doxycycline 100 milligram BD for 7 days. But for lymphogaradoma phalloidium, azithromycin to be given for consecutive 3 weeks. Even in a single weekly dose for 3 weeks or doxycycline 100 milligram BD for 3 weeks. So this is the WHO guidelines for managing chlamydia. It already I have covered. Mycoplasma. Mycoplasma, another, I have already mentioned the difference between the mycoplasma and chlamydia. Do mycoplasma cell wall contain peptidoglycan? Mycoplasma cell wall also does not have peptidoglycan, but this is another material is there. Can anybody tell? In mycoplasma what is there? That is sterol or cholesterol is there in their cell wall. Cholesterol or sterol in their cell wall instead of peptidoglycan. So mycoplasma contain cholesterols group. They are smallest prokaryote capable of self-replication. Mycoplasma utilize glucose or arginine but do not split urea. It has more than 100 named species. Genus Ureaplasma requires urea. So they require some cholesterol or sterol for their growth in case of mycoplasma. It was the previous name. This is the history of mycoplasma. Mycoplasma, what is the name suggest? Myco means fungus-like. They are filamentous bacteria. So they were initially named mycoplasma because myco means it is the fungus-like, plasma means form. So they are fungus-like form. Was 1898 first to isolate mycoplasma. Later on mycoplasma derived from myco meaning fungus-like eton agents. Another name, it refers to the most pathogenic species Mycoplasma pneumoniae in 1944. So pleuropneumonia-like organism, PPLO will come for diagnosis also. This, remember this term PPLO in mycoplasma. Pleuropneumonia-like organism. Cell wall is absent. So there is difference between mycoplasma and L form. What is L form? L form of bacteria. Initial bacteriology, general bacteriology before systemic, the general bacteriology, there was the term L form of bacteria. L form means cell wall deficient bacteria. So there are cell wall, there may be unstable form, they usually revert back to normal state. Once the antibiotic exposure is withdrawn, stable L form, they are permanently cell wall deficient. So mycoplasma is a stable form, cell wall will never be formed. Absence of peptidoglycan, but in L form, though cell wall deficient, but remnants of peptidoglycan will be there. Cell membrane contains sterols, does not contain sterol. It is filterable like viruses because it is small, not filterable, can cause disease in cell wall deficient form, but L forms cannot produce disease. So these are the differences with L form and mycoplasma. Out of 16 species of mycoplasma and ureaplasma, 5 are only established pathogens. Those are mycoplasma pneumoniae, mycoplasma hominis, mycoplasma genitalium, ureaplasma urealyticum, ureaplasma parva. Mycoplasma pneumoniae is a causative agent for primary atypical pneumonia. There is glycolipid antigen and membrane bound protein, cytarasin P1 protein, help in the attachment. So main pathogenesis of mycoplasma is due to the adhesion, and adhesion with the cell with this P1 adhesive. Remember the main pathogenesis. What type of motility mycoplasma show? Mycoplasma type of motility, it causes a gliding motility. So mycoplasma shows gliding motility, and that is also due to this P1 initial adhesive protein. So pathogenesis, attachment to respiratory mucosa is the most important step. Membrane mediated by P1 membrane bound adhesive protein, they induces up. How the pathogenesis, the main pathogenesis is due to the attachment. After attachment, what occurs? The toxic products of the either bacteria or the local inflammatory signs produced by our body causes the main pathogenesis of pneumonia. So either hydrogen peroxide, cytotoxin, it has the ADP ribosylating property and lipoprotein present in the cell membrane induce inflammation. Cellular immunity has an immunopathogenic role. Mycoplasma pneumonia is transmitted by again respiratory droplet. Infection tend to be endemic. Periodic epidemics in 4 to 7 years. Incubation period is 2 to 4 weeks. Upper respiratory infection may cause pharyngitis, tracheobronchitis, pneumonia, atypical community acquired intestinal pneumonia, similar to pneumonia caused by other agents like Chlamydophila pneumoniae, Legionella and viral pneumonia. So when you get a pic, I will show you the chest X-ray. This is the chest X-ray. This is one of the no lobar pneumonia, the chest X-ray showing the typical interstitial pneumonia or atypical pneumonia. When you see a chest X-ray like this, you think of the organism causing atypical pneumonia. What are the organisms? Viral pneumonia, maybe Chlamydophila or maybe Mycoplasma. Eton agent pneumonia, primary atypical pneumonia was previous name. There will be wheeze, there will be crepitations and dry cough. So what would be the difference in the clinical features between the lobar pneumonia or atypical pneumonia? In lobar pneumonia, the cough is productive, but in atypical pneumonia, cough is usually dry cough. What are the extrapulmonary manifestations? Neurologic, meningoencephalitis, Guillain-Barré syndrome, dermatology, skin rashes, erythema multiforme, cardiac myocarditis, pericarditis can occur, reactive arthritis, anemia and hepatomegaly. Now in Pune or in Maharashtra, there was an outbreak of Guillain-Barré syndrome. Have you read in the newspaper the outbreak of Guillain-Barré syndrome? Which was the organism responsible in those Pune outbreak? It was not Mycoplasma. Can anybody tell? recent outbreak of Guillain-Barré syndrome in Pune or near about part in Maharashtra, what was the implicating organism, that is prior infection with that organism played a role in the outbreak of Guillain-Barré syndrome. That was Campylobacter jejuni. Campylobacter jejuni was implicated as a role in the outbreak of Guillain-Barré syndrome in Pune. That may be viral, that may be mycoplasma, but in Pune it was shows that they had a previous infection with Campylobacter jejuni. That's why some poultry were prohibited there. So the Campylobacter jejuni may have spread from the oral route. So Guillain-Barré syndrome, aseptic meningitis, extrapulmonary manifestation. Now before laboratory diagnosis, what is the most common contaminant of cell culture? You have read cell culture in viral diagnosis, even also in rickettsia and chlamydia. What is the commonest organism infecting cell culture? MCQ has come previously and the answer is mycoplasma. Mycoplasma is also called crab, a term used in cell culture. Crabgrass, this crabgrass is mycoplasma. So mycoplasma, cell culture contaminant, what is the most common agent for cell culture contaminant? That is also mycoplasma. Now lab diagnosis. Throat swab and nasopharyngeal swab, solid medium containing PPLO agar produces fried egg colony. Liquid medium PPLO broth produces turbidity and color change. If antigen can be, there are two types of antigen detection. One is non-specific antibody and specific antibody. Non-specific are the two tests, cold agglutination test and Streptococcus MG test. Molecular method, 16S RNA and P1 adenosine gene can be detected by, so P1 adenosine gene and 16S RNA detection for diagnosing with molecular method like PCR. PPLO broth. What do you know about the specimen collection? Throat swab and nasopharyngeal aspirates, bronchial brushing, bronchoalveolar lavage fluid. Sputum is not very useful. Specimen must be placed immediately into the transport media, standard mycoplasma fluid medium containing fetal bovine serum. So when you are suspecting mycoplasma, sputum is not a good sample. Why? Patient having dry cough, he is not expectorating sputum and sputum may other contaminants are there. So transportation should be immediate. It can be stored at 4 degrees centigrade for 48 hours. Beyond that at minus 70 degrees centigrade. Standard solid media, PPLO agar, pleuropneumonia like organism agar, PPLO agar, it also contains some hot serum and penicillin. Standard liquid medium, PPLO broth, glucose, penicillin and phenol red. So how will you know the growth in solid agar? That is fried egg colony. And in PPLO broth, you get a color change due to the indicator phenol red. So it becomes yellow. Phenol red broth, glucose and penicillin, and it causes a yellow change in the color. Diphasic media, both standard solid phase and liquid phase. SP4 media, other name is Hayflick modified medium containing heart infusion broth. Specimens are inoculated in culture media and incubated at 37 degrees centigrade for 5 to 7 days, even up to 1 to 3 weeks. So this is one of the bacteria where long incubation period is required. Name another bacteria where long incubation is usually required. Long incubation is usually required in other bacteria is Brucella. It may require incubation up to 3 weeks. So this is fried egg colony. How the fried egg colony forms? And how will you see? If you do a cross section from the media, The central part is embedded in the agar media. This is agar media. This is the colony. So peripheral part is above the surface of the agar. Most colony what we get? One bacterial colony you get in normal is above the surface or over the surface. But here central part is embedded. This central part is embedded in the agar. As it is embedded in the agar, it produces a fried egg colony. Fried egg like colony. So colonies are embedded, the central part of the colonies are embedded on the agar surface and central surrounded by a flat or translucent peripheral growth. How you can examine? How you can examine? Can you see in the naked eye or use of a lens or low power microscope? Here it is can be seen by hand lens or Dine staining. Dine staining, remember this because this has come in this year question but the answer was wrong. Dine staining একটা MCQ এবারে এসেছিল. There was a MCQ for Dine stains is required for which organism? যেহেতু but none of the four choices included Mycoplasma. So this is Dine stain and plate is flooded with alcoholic solution of methylene blue and azure and examined under low power microscope. So how you can see the fried egg colony? If it is asked fried egg colony, you have to mention either you use a hand lens or stain with Dine stain and use the low power microscope to see the fried egg appearance of the Mycoplasma colony. Mycoplasma retain color for at least 2 days and appear intense royal blue, whereas Ureoplasma appear reddish to green blue. PPLO broth. Mycoplasma pneumoniae growth is detected by turbidity and a color change, red to yellow. Phenol red indicator is the fermentation of glucose. Hemolytic colony. Heme adsorption test is another test. How will you identify the Mycoplasma colony? Tetrazolium reduction test. It forms a red formagen and growth inhibition test by adding specific antisera. Immunological test, direct immunofluorescence detects the Mycoplasma antigen directly, capture ELISA. Non-specific antibody. Sometimes these questions, though not used nowadays mostly, but you can have questions because some senior microbiologists in West Bengal prefers this test. So that is one is cold agglutinin test, uses human O blood group RBC I antigen and Streptococcus mg test. They use kill suspension of Streptococcus mg, that is group F Streptococcus. So these are detection of non-specific antibody. They are non-specific antibody. Remember this name of the two tests, cold agglutination test and Streptococcus mg test. They are neither specific nor sensitive, but just remember the name. So molecular test or nucleic acid amplification test is best, 16S rRNA and P1 adenosine. Now most of the cases you have a multiplex PCR. Macrolides are drug of choice. Azithromycin 500 mg on day 1 and then 250 mg on day 2 to 5. Alternative drug is doxycycline.